2 weeks on the road, the Minnesota Vikings return to the friendly confines of Metropolitan Stadium, perhaps the best team in pro football. Record-wise, the Vikings are the best. They came home today with the same record they had at this point last season, 7 wins and 1 loss. But head coach Bud Grant knows that this year's Viking team so far is not quite the same team that went to the Super Bowl. Their defense is the same juggernaut it has been, perhaps even better. But Minnesota's offense has been less than superb, and the defense has scored or set up more touchdowns than its offense. Detroit Lions head coach Joe Schmidt looks more concerned than Bud Grant, and well, he should be. Like Grant's, Schmidt's defense is fine. But quarterback Bill Munson has made too many costly mistakes the past few weeks, and today Schmidt will instead go with his backup man, Greg Landry. Landry hopes to lead the Lions out of a depressing 3-game losing streak, which included a loss to the Vikings 2 weeks ago in Detroit and a loss to New Orleans last week, which will be remembered for years to come. The game in which Tom Dempsey's 63-yard field goal stunned Detroit 19-17 as time ran out. This heart-rending loss put the Lions 2 games behind Minnesota and psychologically may have done them irreparable damage. So it was do or die for Detroit. Today's game was the showdown that in the end would probably determine the black and blue division champion and perhaps produce a world champion in January. The Vikings-Lions rematch was to be another of those Central Division battles that from the opening kickoff makes everyone watching sense the struggle that was about to begin. The Vikings have beaten the Lions 5 straight, and their strategy has been similar in each victory. Establish the ground game first, then mix it up. But on Minnesota's first series, the Lions' defense stopped them cold. The Lions rely on a strong rush and pursuit by their linebackers and secondary to stop the wide plays. Here, number 45, cornerback Bobby Williams, closed in an attempted bootleg by Quazzo, and the Lions would take over with excellent field position for their first series, inside the Vikings territory. Quarterback Greg Landry likes to run, but he didn't plan on it so early. Rather, he too wanted to set up his passing with the running of Mel Farr and number 42, Altie Taylor. And Taylor began by running well. However, on 3rd and 3 from the 21, Landry went to the air on the Vikings' zone defense and caught them off guard. Larry Walton was all alone, but dropped it, and was in turn dropped by the retaining wall. Detroit had to settle for 3 points, and Earl Mann made good from the 28, while Walton remained prostrate against the wall. Detroit took an early lead again, as they had done 2 weeks before, and led 3-0. It looked like the Vikings might be in for a long afternoon, as their second series ended quickly. On 3rd and 10, Quazzo threw for Washington, but instead found Lion defender Mike Wigger, number 28, on his back. The Lions were again in Viking territory. On a repeat of the steal, Quazzo faked to Dave Osborne, but this didn't suck in the Lions secondary. Dick LeBeau stayed right with Washington and tipped the ball right into the lion lying down, Mike Wigger. Wigger gratefully accepted the gift. However, this turnover wouldn't hurt the Vikings. They held and got the ball back again after a missed field goal. This time, Quazzo mounted his first sustained drive. He was having no success on the ground, so the short outlet pass to Bill Brown now became his chief weapon, with which to negate the strong rush by the Lions' front line. Quazzo converted 2 key third-down plays to keep it going. The short pass to Brown, and this one, a perfectly executed post pattern by Gene Washington, good for 30 yards to the Lions' 33, beating Lem Barney on the play. From here, Quazzo decided to probe the Lion flanks, and Dave Osborne, number 41, made his first good gain of the day. On first down from the 23, however, Quazzo again went to his prime receiver, Washington, and got another first down. Then Detroit dug in. Osborne was stopped cold, and his lateral back to Quazzo was after the whistle. On 2nd and 10, a perfectly timed push by defender Dick LeBeau saved a touchdown and caused a headache. On 3rd and 10, Quazzo just overthrew Osborne in the left flat, so Fred Cox was called in to try a 19-yarder. Cox converted for the 28th game in a row, and the score was tied at 3. The Vikings had used up 6.5 minutes on that drive, and there was time for one more play in the first quarter. Returner Bobby Williams made it count. Williams' 85-yard touchdown put Detroit ahead 10-3 as the quarter ended. 2 weeks ago, the Lions and Vikings had played to a standstill in the first half, with defense dominating. This game was almost a carbon copy. The Vikings' only consistent gainer was the short pass to Brown. Otherwise, the roar of the Lion was heard far and wide as they contained Osborne's running and held Minnesota to 2 first downs in the second quarter. Even Fred Cox couldn't help the Vikings in this quarter as he missed from 51 yards out and was treated to a short scare by Lem Barney on the run back. Barney, who has been the GOAT recently on defense, still keeps them on the edge of their seats as a returner. Detroit, like the Vikings, had the ball for 3 series in this quarter. But unlike the Vikings, each drive ended in disaster. On their first, Landry tried to go long, and Carl Kasulki intercepted. This led to Cox's missed field goal from the 51. Later, on the Lions' second drive, the Viking defense really came to life. Roy Winston, number 60, slowed up the interference and allowed Alan Page to stop Taylor. Then on 3rd and 14, watch the Vikings standing up. That's number 29, Carl Kasulki, and he is about to perform the safety blitz with spine-snapping efficiency. It's amazing Landry still knew what day it was, let alone what down, but he trudged off, setting up a 4th down punt. Ed Shirachman then capped off this Vikings defensive portrait by blocking the punt right back into punter Herman Weaver's hands. Weaver had to go some 30 yards for the first down. He didn't make it. The Vikings now had it on the Lions' 23, and on this series, went in to tie the score. Behind perfect protection, Quazzo hit tight end John Beasley, number 87, who broke a tackle, but stepped out at the 6. Two plays later, Clint Jones followed lineman Milt Sunday into the end zone. Thanks mainly to their defense, the Vikings had tied the game at 10 with 4 minutes left in the half. Detroit was not through. Landry began the Lions' 3rd offensive series of the quarter by sending Altie Taylor into the line. Taylor picked up good yardage, first at the left and then at the right side of the vaunted Viking defense. Taylor would gain over 50 yards in the half. But with less than 2 minutes left, Landry went to the air and found Larry Walton. Walton had come back from his injury and caught Landry's only 2 completions of the half. This was as far as Detroit got. Taylor was unable to dent the Purple Gang from the Vikings' 38, and Landry followed with another interception. The Vikings got the ball with time for only one more play. It was a bomb to Jim Lindsay. The play failed. Minnesota and Detroit went into the locker room deadlocked 10-10. It was about as even a half as there could be, as the second half was awaited eagerly by all who observed. And with the score tied at 10 apiece. Bobby Williams, who was a Viking target in the first game between the two teams, gained more revenge with another excellent return. Detroit had excellent field position, but the Viking defense forced them to give up the ball. Minnesota, anxious to get a quick lead, tried a bomb to Washington, but Quazzo's pass was errant. On the next play, Quazzo dropped back again, but never had a chance. Despite trying to protect himself, he fumbled, and Detroit had the ball on the Viking 8-yard line. They made the most of the opportunity as Landry passed to Farr for the go-ahead touchdown. A repeat shows the accuracy of Landry's throw as he split the seams between two Viking linebackers. There was at least one Lion rooter in Minnesota, and he had plenty to cheer about. Detroit 17, Minnesota 10. On the next series, the Lion defense forced a punt, and Lem Barney's skittering return again gave Detroit excellent field position, this time at the Minnesota 37. Landry and Charlie Sanders personally moved the ball downfield. Sanders first picked Landry's blooper off the grass. And then took a bullet over the middle for a first down. But Minnesota held, and Earl Mann's 37-yard field goal increased Detroit's lead to 20-10. The Vikings had to get back on the boards fast, and led by the power running of Clint Jones, they started a move late in the third quarter. But it ended when Quazzo's quick turnout to Washington was ruled trapped by the official. Cox's field goal attempt from the 41 fell short, and Detroit had held again. However, the Lion offense almost gave the ball right back. Luckily for Detroit, Taylor's fumble bounced the right way. The third quarter came to an end when Landry was thrown for a loss by Carl Eller. He would be trapped by the Purple Gang a total of 6 times today. A 20-10 score, Minnesota would have to begin their comeback now if there was to be one at all. Gary Quazzo started them off with a display of pinpoint passing. Gene Washington ran an out pattern for 10 yards, but Minnesota needed huge chunks of yardage. Quazzo got it on the next pass when Henderson eluded LeBeau and raced 40 yards down the left sideline to the 5. He just missed going all the way. Clint Jones dove for the score. Minnesota had gone 60 yards and now trailed by only 3. It was up to the Viking defense to stop Detroit one more time. The Lions had other ideas. This is the victory they had to have to stay in contention, and they were determined not to let it slip from their grasp. Landry hit Walton for 12 yards at the sideline. Then he passed to the right sideline again, this time to McCullough, who was put down hard by number 49, Dale Hackbart. The Lions were moving now. Landry then let his running tandem of Taylor and Farr handle the load. They took the ball deep into Minnesota territory, and it appeared certain the Lions would score again. But one man turned the tide. Number 29, Carl Kasulke, stopped Farr when it looked like he might break free. Then, on the next play, Kasulke broke a block and tripped Taylor for a loss. Detroit was forced to go for the field goal, but they muffed it. The Viking defense, led by Kasulke, had held. Now, the offense had its chance. The Lion defense was playing deep to prevent the big play, and Quazzo took advantage of the tactic to hit Henderson twice at opposite sidelines for small gains. But Minnesota needed the big play. With 2 minutes remaining, Quazzo was denied the deep pass again, and Jones, cutting across the middle, dropped the pass with a little help from Mike Lucci. Then came the key play of the game. It was 3rd and 10. Quazzo had to make this pass work. He went for the bomb, and Jim Lindsay made a perfect grab of the pass to put the Vikings on their opponent's 5-yard line. A repeat of this crucial play shows that safety Wayne Rasmussen almost got his hands on the ball, then barely brought down Lindsay, who had his first reception of the season. Number 45, Bobby Williams, hopefully looked for a flag downfield, but it was wishful thinking. With 1 minute, 28 seconds left, Clint Jones swept left end for 5 yards and the go-ahead touchdown. The Viking machine had done it again. A repeat shows the escort of blockers Jones had, but didn't need, as he beat Dick LeBeau to the corner of the end zone for his 3rd touchdown of the day. Minnesota now led by 4 points, 24-20. Greg Landry had over a minute remaining in which to rally his team for a touchdown. A field goal was of no use. On the first play, Carl Eller broke through to throw him for a 14-yard loss. Second and 24. With 1 minute left, Landry on a keeper ran the left side for 16 yards. Third and 8, 56 seconds remaining. Landry passed to Walton, who juked his way to a few extra yards. First down on their own 35 and just 33 seconds left. Landry hit Farr, who just missed getting out of bounds to stop the clock. Three seconds remaining on the 41. Landry screens to Triplett, who eludes several tacklers before being brought down by Roy Winston, far short of the goal. The game is over. Minnesota had escaped apparent defeat by rallying for 14 points in the final 10 minutes of play to beat Detroit 24-20. The Vikings have now beaten the Lions 6 consecutive times, But more importantly, they have virtually wrapped up the National Conference's Central Division title. They now have a record of 8 wins and just a single defeat, and lead the Lions by 3 games with only 5 to go. The Vikings can now afford to think about a second straight championship. For the Lions, however, it's a different story. It's their 3rd straight defeat after a magnificent beginning. Detroit's record is now 5-4, and what were once the bright hopes of September have been reduced to shattered dreams in November.